So my name is Andrew Nasson, and I think the most definitive, or at least the most important day of my life was the day I was diagnosed with depression. Throughout high school, I had been dealing with depressive feelings and, the lethargy, the lack of self-image. I just did not like myself. I didn't really do much in high school, and I was feeling just bad. And I told myself, if I can get through the high school, I can get to college, I can, turn my life around. I can be a better person. It didn't work that way. I got to high school, I got to college, and I just scraped by. Homework, did the bare minimum, barely did any reading. Exams, I did all right on exams. And it was just not getting any better, and it only got worse as time went on. But it really reached a head when I got to physics. And this class was just going to kick my ass. I was completely fucked because homework, mandatory, big portion of my grade, exams pretty much every week, reading that was mandatory because the professor did not cover everything in his lectures, and I was just barely passing, and sometimes I'd even not passing during the course. I was floating between a C and a D, and it was really impacting my emotional state because I just felt like I was wasting my time, I was wasting my parents' money. What was I doing here in college if I wasn't here to make sure that I had a better future? And here I was, not doing anything, wasting my life. And it really, really affected me because I just couldn't take it. And it really reached a head at the final exam week. Because I got to that final exam week and I looked at that exam and I just broke. I broke because I just couldn't take it anymore, and I was picking up my pencil to start the exam and I just started shaking. I started grabbing at myself. I was fidgeting. I was, scratching at the table. I was on the verge of tears, actually, now that I think about it. And the professor came up to me and the professor said, "We need to take a step outside." And we took a step outside, and he looked at me and he put his hands on my shoulder and he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I know you're feeling bad, but you can't do this in class. It's not healthy. If it's this bad, you need to seek help." And I looked at him, still shaking, still basically on the verge of tears, and I said, "You're right." And so I went back in and I pulled myself together just enough to finish that exam, and I handed it in, and that very same day, I had to go call my doctor and say, "Listen, I can't do it anymore. I have feelings of depression. I need to see a psychiatrist or something." And I went into that psychiatrist's office a week later, and they said, "You're depressed, but you're not alone. There's medication, there's therapy. You can get through this." And I was in that office, and I was crying because it was a harsh reality. Depression is not something that's fun. Depression hurts every day. And so I started the medication, I started the therapy, and my life has never been better because I just turned my life around. And even though that moment was only a couple months ago, my life has never been better since that day because I'm just feeling better, I'm feeling happier. It's wonderful. And that's the most important day of my life.